if this ex person would be a problem for you, they would actually come in and try to like really seduce you and lay it on thick and try to tell you they want to be with you, simply because this person wants you to never leave them, never move on. Hi everyone, and welcome to Divine Resolution Tarot. If you are watching for a Sagittarius, please reverse the roles because it'll feel like I'm speaking to you about your Sagittarius. So I've shuffled deck, I've pulled your cards, and I'm taking a look at the bottom of your deck to get an idea of what's been going on with you since last time we spoke. Sagittarius, this is kind of crazy, but I'm seeing 3 different people in your energy here. We've got a Queen of Pentacles, so earth energy. Then if you move down a little bit, you have a Queen of Cups, water. And then right next to that almost, there's this Queen of Swords for air. So it seems like you have a lot going on, and I was actually seeing that in the spread that I pulled for you. It looks like there's some decisions that need to be made here that you're kind of thinking about. So let's get into this and get this part figured out. It's kind of a lot to unpack, but let's see what's going on here. It looks like there is a commitment after a period of sadness. You coming to the realization that what you're doing isn't working, but still being where you are. You kept that to yourself. There's thoughts about starting something new, a new life with a soulmate, and then insert Queen of Swords. So it looks like wherever you are, it seems like you're with this earth sign because I'm seeing earth. But you coming to the realization that you are a King of Swords and that you have a soulmate that is a Queen of Swords. So there's kind of this feeling of wanting that situation, keeping it hidden, staying where you are, and then you're seeing something else. And so we have this Queen of Cups. So this is like you having a karmic partner that's a water sign, or seeing where your heart is and that you need to shut something out. Okay, you have a lot of people on your dance card. What I'm seeing right now is like you've got this person that you feel like is a soulmate, but you don't seem like you talk to them. Then you're seeing something about this person over here that it's like you can't save them, you can't help them. No matter how much you try, this person makes you feel unstable. There's a possibility of this person. Maybe this person is a parent too, because I'm seeing Emperor reverse. So maybe this is someone that you help out with their life is what this looks like. And then there's a feeling of like you need to move on from that situation. What's interesting is here you are, Temperance, and you're ending on the Queen of Pentacles. So I feel like that's re-solidifying what I was seeing back here, that you're in a situation with an earth sign. If it's not an earth sign, they may either have earth prominently in their chart, or this is just representative of the fact that you're in a relationship that's committed, that you've built something with that person. So you kind of have a lot going on, Sagittarius. I guess what I would ask you about this situation, because I'm seeing lots of stuff and lots of people, is maybe if you could get to the bottom of what you want. That's kind of reiterated in your spread, because it seems like you've either created a lot of soul ties with people, or you've kept a lot of karmic people in your life. And it's almost like, I mean, this has got to be kind of overwhelming for you, simply because it looks like you're so spread thin, right? Trying to be everything to everyone, never feeling like you're enough, feeling like everything you're doing isn't working. And then there's this energy that's under this whole situation where it's like you're waiting to be the priority in your life, or you're waiting to be single or not have obligations so that you can actually go after what it is you want. but feeling like you can't do that right now is what I'm seeing here. This is interesting. Maybe you're the kind of person, like, no matter what happens in a relationship, you don't get rid of those people, or you like always hold on to the people, because you have so many people coming out in this that, I mean, the energy that I'm feeling, this is 3 different people. This is not one person and their qualities. You get what I'm saying? Like, there is a story under this, right? Where there's somebody that you like to reconcile with, somebody that you felt like you had to move on because you weren't stable or you weren't where you needed to be, and someone that you hope that you can have some sort of reunion with. But it's still showing like that there's at least 3 people in your life, for the people I'm reading for. So a little bit of a conundrum. I'm not sure what you're going to do about that. Well, I am sure, because I see your future here. But let's talk about your spread. Let's talk about how you're moving into this reading. You've got King of Cups reversed for yourself. So it's weird because you're in between a lot of like different worlds. You're trying to keep a lot of balls in the air, almost juggling different aspects of yourself. The people who came out in your bottom of the deck spread, it looks like everybody has a quality that you think is important. We've got one person who it seems like has more financial stability, and then we've got someone else who's more like emotionally available. And then we have someone else who's like more decisive and maybe independent. And so like, last time I read for you, I feel like you had aligned yourself with somebody that was financially stable. And so this could be a continuation of that, for those of you who saw that. But it feels like you're kind of sick of love, right? With this King of Cups in the reverse, it's showing me that the things that used to attract you about a partner or a prospective partner, it feels like those have changed so much that this is almost like you looking back over your life and seeing that you've dated people that are just completely different from each other, and trying to get an idea of like which one of them was the best representation of who you were or who you are, or like what attracted you to those people at all, right? It's kind of weird because I see you having this like feeling of wishing to start back with one of these 3 people. You're already with one of them. Let me see what that's about. Yeah, see, I see you keep going back to this Queen of Pentacles. So you're already with that person. And so that's kind of weird that you're spending a lot of time contemplating other people, right? But what I think is, I haven't seen the King of Pentacles yet, which would be this Queen of Pentacles match. And then I did see this Queen of Cups, but with you coming through as the King of Cups in the reverse, this is telling me that you've decided that this person is not a match for you, right? Because you have your 5 of Pentacles, you have your Queen of Cups, and then that would be the person I was showing like, yes, I think this person is a part of your soul group, but there's something about them that brings out the worst in you. And then there's something about them that it feels like they keep you stuck. And you have that feeling of like, I can't save this person. I can't save this person from themselves. So, I mean, on the bright side, you're like narrowing down your choices. I don't know. On the bright side, you have lots of choices, but it feels like now you're down to 2, right? You're down to where you are, and you're down to this other soulmate person that I saw back here. And so maybe that's like a big thing for you, that you've gotten into a space where you are letting this Queen of Cups go. You have death. Maybe this is someone that you've known for a really long time, and they could have held you up in a lot of ways. Like, I do see that you're in a relationship, but what's kind of weird is like you're in a relationship and then you're pondering other relationships. So it makes me wonder how serious you are about where you are, simply because if you're coming out as the Emperor reversed, with the 8 of Wands, like, this isn't where I am in my life. I don't want to put down roots here. I see myself moving away from this. But then very quickly, there's a reconciliation with what you're saying that you don't want, right? Or what you've decided you don't want. So it's kind of interesting that it feels like you're just narrowing down choices, but also not leaving or moving away from where you are. And my guess is because it benefits you in some way. There's an energy of not wanting to rock the boat and being concerned about your reputation. So if you're like married, yeah, obviously that would cause quite a commotion if you were to like separate with that person and then go off and try to find someone from your past, right? And there's an energy of feeling like you kind of checked out of where you are, in the sense that it's like you don't want to rock the boat, but also you just want to find a way to be yourself where you are. That's kind of weird. It feels like maybe you can't be your true self where you are, because you're having dreams of like running away, having this fresh start, putting yourself first. You know, maybe you've been in relationships like your whole life. And so now you're just sick of love. You're like, I'm tired of being what everybody wants. And honestly, that could be why the Queen of Swords was in your mind, because that person is coming through as being someone who's like more of a loner. And so maybe you're thinking about that person, thinking like, they came into my life to teach me how to not care what other people think or how to be by myself, right? Because you're doing a lot of reflecting. And I think what's interesting is like, you're not coming through as someone who's overly worried about love this month. This is more the energy of like, I'm sick of love and I wish that I could just go live my best life by myself, you know? And maybe that's what it is. It's like, if you have this person that it seems like you show up for and you're helping, and then you have this relationship, and then you have this other person who they're like living their life autonomous from you, and it doesn't look like they have much to do with you, to be honest with you, because we've got our 8 of Pentacles, High Priestess. It's like you don't even know what this other person is doing. And so maybe you're kind of fantasizing like, that must be so nice. Like, I wish no one knew what I was doing. Right? That's kind of what the energy it's giving, is like, I'm envious that that person is like off the grid, or I wish that I could go off the grid. There's a feeling of just wanting to be by yourself, wanting to spend time alone. What's coming towards you this month, I'm seeing that the water sign is going to do something to try to keep you dealing with them. Okay. So the best way I can explain this is like, maybe this Queen of Pentacles, doesn't matter if you're a female or a male, but this would signify the person you're with, right? And then this Queen of Cups, it seems like that must be somebody that you were committed to at one time, because 5 of Pentacles. So it looks like this could be like an ex-partner, right? With maybe you share children, maybe you don't share children with this Emperor in the verse, but like maybe you have stepkids, ex-stepkids, I don't know, right? It's something along those lines where it's like you have this really weird situation where you're where you are and you've built a life there, but then the past is still a part of your life. And what I'm seeing is you wanting to get some distance between the past, right? Whoever this Queen of Cups represents for you. Like, you probably will be communicating that to this person. Or if you haven't communicated it to them, you've stopped helping. You've stopped showing up, in the sense that you're not offering to take kids that aren't yours, or you're not offering to like help them run errands or go to the grocery store or pick them up from rehab or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's this energy of like, you are taking a step back. For some of you, you're trying to stop drinking, or you've been sober recently is what this is looking like. So you're doing a lot of reflecting on kind of like how life has happened to you, or the choices that you've made, right? And so I'm seeing you having like epiphanies about kind of everyone in your life who has showed up for you? How has that person showed up for you? What have they given you? What have they taken from you? And for whatever is going on with you, it's almost like you're starting to make decisions about each person in your life that perhaps in the past felt difficult to make. If you haven't made the decisions, because I see this real indecision with a lot of these cards, it's like you're coming to the realization that based on what you are remembering, you need to make a choice, right? What I'm seeing is you just stepping back from everybody. You're not stepping back from the person that you're with, because it looks like you might share a house with that person or work with this person. So you see that person, like you can't step back from them. But I do see you taking a step back from the Queen of Cups. The hard part is that person's not going to let you go. They're actually going to do something to make it so that you have to come to their rescue and help them. And that's going to cause a lot of confusion for you, because, well, first of all, we're trying to figure out why this person can't take care of themselves is kind of where you're at. This person might be in a whole relationship with someone else and still asking you for help. And so you're starting to see like how strange the dynamic of this connection is. There's something here where you're like, I don't know if this person is still in love with me or why I'm their go-to. I don't know why I put myself in this situation for so long. And you're also seeing ways that this ex person sabotages your situations. You know, like this person, it seems like they can go be with anybody or they could do anything. But when you decide to stop drinking, this is somebody that'll offer you alcohol. Or when you're like, hey, I can't help you with this, they end up like going on a bender and calling you like, I'm on a bridge, you gotta come get me, right? Like this is so strange that this person would like, you're like their emergency contact, even though they could have like a whole nother relationship. So you're starting to feel like there's some mental health issues going on with this person, but you're also starting to examine yourself and wondering like, what's going on with my mental health? Like, do I have a savior complex, or do I just like have a hard time setting boundaries? What I'll say about that is like, you genuinely have love for whoever this is. So, you know, even if you're not with somebody, like, of course you're going to care about their well-being. But there's also what I'm seeing, like a lack of boundaries that have been like, I don't even think they've been communicated is really what this is looking like to me. It hasn't been told to this person that they can't just call you whenever, or they can't just expect you to be whatever. And I think this must be very stressful for you, because like, as I'm looking at this person who feels so entitled to like your money and your time and attention, I can see why you're reconciling with this Queen of Pentacles, because it feels like this would start some fights, right? It feels like this person that you're living with or that you're in a relationship with and you work the same job or whatever the deal is, that person's probably wondering like, is this going to be a forever thing? Ace of Swords. So it seems like that person is giving you some kind of ultimatum or trying to understand why you haven't cut this past person out of your life. And I think that what that Queen of Pentacles is saying is reminding you of the Queen of Swords, right? Because this person is way in the back. And it seems like this person was not willing to stick around. Like they saw the writing on the wall. Seven of Cups reversed with the Queen of Cups, that you would rather risk losing the Queen of Swords than risk losing the Queen of Cups. So that person isn't around anymore. And I feel like this Queen of Pentacles is now kind of picking up the sword and asking you some of the same questions that you were hearing from this previous person, right? Like, what's going on with this ex person? Why are they always there? Why are they always calling you? Like, I don't understand how you have room in your life for something new when it feels like you're so attached to the old, right? So maybe that's kind of triggering you and bringing up some old wounds, right? It feels like you've had these discussions before with that queen that came first. You had these conversations before. So this is also giving you something to think about because you're a pretty practical person. And it's like, okay, if multiple people that I've dated are saying the same thing, maybe in the past, I thought that the Queen of Swords, it's almost like you thought that person reconciled with someone else or wanted someone else. So they were using your relationship with your ex as an excuse, when in reality, like, this person was feeling as though you were holding back from them to the point that it was making it impossible to be in a relationship with you because it was not a couple, it was a throuple, right? Your Queen of Swords is in the reverse here and feeling like you're always trying to appease someone else or reconcile with someone else too. You've got the Two of Wands. It's like you're in two different relationships, right? So it's interesting because you've built a new life with someone else, but this person is now saying the same things to you that a previous partner said to you about this Queen of Cups, this ex. Like, hey, like, what are you doing with this person, right? When people break up, they break up. You don't keep, like, doing the thing. Like, you're not going to be their emergency contact for their kid. You're probably going to move on, right? So Sun in the reverse for why this is happening. I think if I look at the big picture here, you're stressed out and you're very unhappy. And so it's almost like all these things are coming up because you need to figure out what you want. You should probably consider what you want, not what you think you should want or what other people want you to want, right? There's an energy of you not really being in touch with what makes you happy up until now, so maybe this sobriety thing that I'm seeing here is starting to give you some clarity of like, wow, I haven't been the protagonist in my own life. I've actually been taking a back seat for a really long time, and I guess I'm realizing some things about that, right? There's an energy of confusion, not being sure what your purpose in life is or what you're supposed to be doing or who you're supposed to be doing it with. And I think in the past, maybe you were better at hiding it, but now it feels like it's all coming to a head. This actually, I think, has been a thing that has been building since August of 2024 is what this is looking like. So let's see what happened then. Queen of Pentacles reversed. Okay. 9 of Cups. What this is showing me is you either took a break from this Queen of Pentacles in August and you started thinking about yourself and what you wanted before you reconciled with this person again, or you had a conversation with an ex in August of 2024 and you started thinking about what it would be like to reconcile with that person. That looks like the Air because we have Lovers, but nothing came of that situation. So it seems like this is something that's been brewing since last summer. And now it's kind of coming to a head. Page of Swords. Yeah, it's like you're being called to make a decision about the commitment you're in, but you're also being called to make a decision about what you're committed to in life, right? Like, what do you want? Where do you want to be? Why is this weighing so heavy on your mind? Okay. You're just really thinking about your future. Maybe this year you have a milestone birthday, or last year you had a milestone birthday of like, oh, I turned 50. Oh, I don't know what milestone birthdays are, 40, 30, 20. Like, maybe something has happened that's made you start to really look at your future or what your life will be like going forward. It's kind of giving midlife crisis energy, where you're really thinking like, oh my gosh, is this going to be the rest of my life? What have I done up until this point? For some of you, maybe you're going through a Saturn return. If you don't know what that is, look into it. It's when Saturn comes back to the place it was when you were born. And that honestly causes everything to like go crazy. So if you've been going through that, I think it happens every 29 years, and you feel the energy like a couple years before, a couple years after. So things could just be or have been like really chaotic for you, and now you're trying to make sense of everything. On the bright side, though, what I will say about that is your opportunity is the Wheel of Fortune. So you really can have anything that you want, right? It's just a matter of getting clear about what that looks like for you. And maybe just a thought, but what if none of the situations that you're in or holding on to are the one that you want, right? Because when I looked at what you really want, you have the Fool and you have the King of Wands. But what's interesting is out of all the queens that I saw, you don't have a Queen of Wands in your spread in the back, right? So maybe everything that's happened to you has happened so you could get clear about what you want for yourself. And maybe you haven't lost out on anything, right? Or you haven't missed anything. Maybe it's possible that you just haven't met the person that makes you want to get rid of some of these things in your life that are more challenging to get rid of, right? Maybe you haven't grown into the person that was ready to let go of some of these more challenging situations. So I guess I wouldn't spend a lot of time being hard on myself if I were you, because I'm seeing that you can have anything you want. The time is finally right. It looks like maybe timing has been off for you for a long time. It kind of feels like you've been the underdog, or you haven't had the luck in areas of your life that you were hoping for. But what I'm seeing is like, well, that's kind of weird, but I'll just go with it because that's what's here. You've got Two of Cups reversed, Page of Pentacles reversed, Nine of Swords reversed. So what this is saying is like any relationship that's bringing you grief, Wheel of Fortune is moving on that. It's time for you to let it go, right? That could be everybody. That could be nobody. I would think it's at least somebody because you're unhappy. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the time is up for things that have expired. It's time for you to make a decision. But unfortunately, that is also your obstacle, is Two of Wands in the reverse, which is being very indecisive, And so, I mean, the good part about the Two of Wands reverse is that even though it's very difficult to make a decision about which direction you want to go, if you can get in touch with you, which it seems like that's really what you want to do, is just kind of run away from home right now and not talk to anybody. Maybe if you could do something like that, where you take that week off of work and go sit in the woods or whatever you do to kind of like recenter. If you can get in touch with yourself, you can start thinking about what your ideal life would look like. And then you can go back to the decisions that you need to make, and you can start saying like, would having these people in my life get me where I want to go? Does having option A in my life support what I'm building? Does having option B in my life pose as a liability to what I want? Am I even happy when I'm around option C? You get what I'm saying? Like, if you can connect to what your true happiness is and get that picture of where you see yourself in 20 years, you don't have to plug any of these people in. Just think of you. And eventually you could like mentally plug each person in and see how that affects your feelings or your happiness, right? It's like you kind of need to go somewhere alone and just really think. And that seems like an obstacle as well. Well, it's an obstacle because you have this person, this ex-partner who's having all these mental health issues, but I feel like they're doing that to control you, right? Something you don't realize too is this ex-person wants you to like be alone forever and to always miss them. And so it's weird because it's like, as soon as you find someone, why are they okay with... Okay, so I was asking, why are they okay with the person that you're with? And it seems like they're okay with the person that you're with because they can still control you, right? They can still ask you for stuff. They can still have that place in your life. But if this was someone else, like say this was somebody that was like a big, like, maybe like how the Queen of Swords was like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like if this was someone else, it would be a problem. If this ex person would be a problem for you, they would actually come in and try to like really seduce you and lay it on thick and try to tell you they want to be with you, simply because this person wants you to never leave them, never move on. So why do they? Okay, but they also don't want to be with you either. This person wants to see you single and they want to see you pining after them like your whole life, which is a strange thing to want, but that's what I'm seeing. So it's kind of hard because it's like now you have the person that you're with wondering why you're keeping this ex. Like, are you waiting to reconcile with them? Are you cheating with them? Why are they always around? This is like, you're not even, do you realize you're in a relationship with me? So you're probably getting it from that person. And if you disappear, that person would think that you were with the ex. But if you stop talking to the ex, then it seems like they're going to start freaking out. This is kind of a mess because this ex is going to think that you're with the Queen of Swords. Man, I don't even know what you're going to do about this. This is crazy. Meanwhile, the Queen of Swords isn't around. But I'm seeing if you went back to that person, it's possible that you would get your fresh start as the King of Wands. As in, like, you would be able to be yourself and do what you're trying to do and have the things you want when you're like, because here you are, Sagittarius, King of Wands, Fool, Temperance. This is you like coming into your own and being able to have your fresh start, be yourself, be happy. But I'm still seeing the vengeful ex. So the hard part is like, I think the number one issue is this person that hangs on for dear life and makes your life difficult unless you date the people they want you to date, which is super weird because like they can do whatever. I'm seeing this person can do whatever they want, but they want you to be with someone that allows you to like be able to still come over at night and help with stuff. I don't know. This is crazy. Something to consider or advice. You got the World. So it's time for something to end, right? You've got some really positive cards here. If you can find a way to get away, I think that'll be good for you to just kind of collect your bearings. But like, it's time to end something, and you've already been shown what that thing is, or you will find out this month what that is. Probably when this ex starts like getting kind of crazy, because what I'm seeing is you're in the middle of a situation where you have to like appease the Queen of Pentacles that you're with, because that person's probably like paying for stuff and you're living there or you're working and seeing them every day or whatever. Like that person is a part of your now. But the past person is starting to like manipulation activated, right? Because they see that they're losing their hold on you. So this situation, it's like, it's going to progressively get more stressful, and it's happening so that you will start setting boundaries, you know, and honestly, like I said, it's gotta be for you. It's gotta be what you want. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter what anybody else wants, but it looks like you're holding on to too many things and it's causing you depression. You know, it's showing me that there's two things in your life that need to end if you're going to be able to have the new beginning. There's two situations in your life that have come to a close. And then you've got your Four of Wands, right? So if you can whittle it down from 3 to 1, you'll be fine, is what this is saying. So future, Tower in the reverse. This can mean a few things. I feel like you're still going to try not to rock the boat. You're still going to keep holding on to the person that comes between your relationships. I'm seeing that. And I'm also seeing, that's interesting, that you may try to contact the Queen of Swords to see if they're angry. So it seems like you're going to just keep holding on to everything this month. Because the decision is still activated. It's still active, right? Like through the month, it's still active. You're not making a choice. You're staying in the relationship you're in as well. So you're choosing all three people. Oh, let's see what that creates. Queen of Pentacles reversed. So it's possible that the relationship you're in, that person would end up doing something different if you continue trying to appease the ex, and then in addition, see if that Queen of Swords is still angry with you. That's going to be too much for the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, or for the Queen of Pentacles, because it's like, okay, I was already annoyed with your ex, and now you're talking to the person you talked to before me. Like, this is too much. So that person is going to end up exiting if you do what you're doing. And maybe that's what you want, because with the Tower in the reverse, it's like you're trying to avoid a blow up. So it's almost like, what is your plan? There's like, okay, so you're hoping your problems will take care of themselves is what I'm seeing here. And this is going back to the last time I read for you all, when you have that work smart, not hard attitude. This is almost like, I'm going to keep both people. I'm going to contact the Queen of Swords because I know that person isn't going to put up with any of this. My Queen of Pentacles is going to get mad because now they're not just sharing me with the Queen of Cups, but they're sharing me also with the Queen of Swords. So Queen of Pentacles is going to take care of themselves. They're going to get frustrated. They're going to leave. Now I know that the Queen of Swords is not going to let the Queen of Cups boss me around anymore. Or I know that if I stick with this Queen of Swords person, they're not going to let that fly where the ex is calling. And so I'll have that like support or leverage to be able to cut out that kind of weird manipulative ex once and for all, because I can just blame it on the Queen of Swords not being with it, right? Not being willing to put up with that. So, I mean, I guess I'm seeing where you're coming from and I'm picking up what you're putting down. But, I mean, Tower reversed, like, you got to consider the cards around the Tower reversed. That's also, like, kind of a toxic way to deal with what you're dealing with, right? Rather than just, like, setting the boundary. You, like, playing devil's advocate is what this is. And maybe consider like, I don't even know what to tell you. This is crazy. And like, I guess that's just Sagittarius for you. Like, everybody wants you and you're super strategic about how you roll, because it's almost like you're setting it up so that you aren't the bad guy ever or in any situation, which setting a boundary doesn't make you a bad guy, right? But the way you see it is like, I can get what I want and I can do less work and I can not be the bad guy in the situation. So that's what I'm going to do, because this will mitigate the fallout, right? Like, if I can put the situation on someone else, then, you know, like, blame it on like, oh, well, my new person just isn't about that life. You know, what are they going to do? Yell at me? No, they're not going to yell at me, right? They want to yell at my new person. Not new, but, you know, old new, right? Because right now it's just the person you're with and it's the ex, and it's getting to be toxic and weird. So you want to like bring in the executioner, right? To come swing their sword and start cutting things out of your life for you rather than doing it yourself. So that looks like your reading for the month. Let me get you an oracle card. Forgiveness. All right, stop focusing your energy on past events, for life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. Bottom of the deck, you got the past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. So, I mean, everything that I'm seeing here, like the ideas that you're having, those things could work. But for like character development, with this Wheel of Fortune and the world, like you could absolutely like make these choices on your own. without enlisting someone else to kind of be like the scapegoat or the reason why, because this is talking about you doing something new for you, right? Or you deciding to release the old because that's what resonates with where you are now, and then you taking the steps to do that, right? And following your path with faith. And maybe you need support, right? Like maybe this Queen of Swords person isn't gonna like go beat up all your exes or your person that you're with or whatever. Maybe it's just somebody that's like, yeah, cut them off. Who cares, right? Because Queen of Swords is very like practical, So maybe that's what you need, is just the support of what that person would say. But it does kind of look like you will use that person as a buffer or a scapegoat or whatever. So maybe think about, with that Tower in the reverse, like, if you really do want that person in your life, probably don't allow that person to take the brunt of all of the things that you've created that it's kind of looking like you're trying to find an easy way to get rid of without actually having to do the work of like disappointing people, right? Because it isn't a fun feeling and it does suck. And your reputation may be damaged, if you walk out on a relationship, or if you stop showing up for, an ex that will go spread gossip or whatever. I don't know what this person has on you, but it seems like you're jumping through a lot of hoops for this person. You know what I mean? So like these are kind of like the hard things, right? And it's cool to ask for support, but I think putting someone in the situation to like catch the brunt of everything you created is a little bit shady. But at the same time, I think that you will have a difficult time putting that person in that situation, because out of all the queens, that's the Queen of Swords, and they're not going to go for games. You know what I mean? That's why you're dealing with 2 people instead of 3, because they remove themselves from that, and that's not something that they're into. So it might be a little more difficult than you think, even though you've got a decent strategy. I'd be interested to see how that works out for you. I guess we will find out next month when I pull your love reading. Thank you for stopping by. I'll speak to all of you again soon. And in the meantime, you take very good care of yourselves. Good luck with this. Bye.